So when did the idea for a sequel first come about?
You know, we started working on what it could be about a year before the first Trolls came out. So really, when it's all said and done, it's like a 4-year process.
Is that quite nerve-wracking? Because you come up with this great idea, but you kind of have to wait for audience reception and box office to know if you're going to be greenlit for a sequel.
Yeah, it's true.
What was that sort of period like?
Well, you know, it's still a fun part of the process. I think just coming up with what could the story be and who can the characters be, and just that kind of blank slate is one of the best parts of making the movie. So even if we weren't going to make it, it was a joy coming up with it.
So how do you strike that balance in working out what's going to work for kids and for their parents as well? I mean, do you just use yourself? Do you think, what would I like to see?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we are always thinking of the audience, but we can't help but do things that entertain us because it takes 3 years to make it. We first see if we're entertained and everyone around us. I mean, it's a movie for everybody. We want it to be clear, so if you're really young, you can enjoy it, but we really call it a movie for humans.
Because it is a film that just makes people feel happy. I mean, there's a lot of cynicism in the world. It must be great just to be part of a film that is just so sort of good-natured.
Yeah. I think it's great on 2 levels. One is like making the audience feel good, I think is a joy, but it's also for us, while making the movie, we feel good every day. Like, I've never had a happier crew.
But it is quite important though, sometimes their happiness can also, it's almost quite meta at some points. It's used against them as well at the same time, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's an interesting idea. But, you know, overall, I think joy and happiness overrides everything.
Because there are great sort of positive messages in this. Do you think that cinema and sort of animations in particular is sometimes the best way to reach the young generation? Because I guess sometimes in some ways we have to almost stepping out of the real world is the best way to understand it.
Yeah, I think that's why the messages come through so clearly, you know, and we try not to force feed it, but I think that old saying, you know, a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. I think there's an important message in this movie, but first and foremost, it's just fun.
So what troll would you be musically? I mean, obviously there's a lot. I think I'll go for the funky troll. I like the funky trolls.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up with a lot of funk, and I love Prince music, was one of my favorites as a teenager. But I think ultimately I'm a pop troll. You know, from the Beatles to Taylor Swift, I love all pop music.
And obviously in this, the voice cast is great, but the one I'm most interested to know in terms of how you directed was Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
How was he in the booth? How in terms of giving him instructions?
We've talked about him a little bit. He's funny, you know, because I really wanted him in the movie, and he said yes, which was awesome. And he came in and he acted like we had met before, which I love. But also
he probably thought he had met you before. That's probably why.
Yeah, yeah. Who knows? He is amazing, but I tell the story of he had to have this kind of tender moment with his daughter, who was the queen of hard rock. And we were a little bit further away than I usually am, a little further than this. I had to tell him, like, it's a real tender moment. He goes, what? What is it? And I said, quiet. You gotta have to be quiet.
So I was wondering what's sort of coming. I mean, what's coming up next for you? Do you have any sort of other projects underway at the moment?
Well, maybe make more troll movies. Let's see if the people want it. But right now I'm just excited to share this one with the world.
So you were saying before that you'd started writing, coming up with the ideas for the second one before. Has that been the case now with a potential third idea?
For sure. We have been tossing around a few ideas. So if the world wants it, we're going to be ready to go.
So what is it about trolls? Because I mean, I remember having just trolls lying around in my house when I was a kid and stuff. But and so just using them as a kind of springboard to create this whole world. I was wondering about what you think it is about this property that kids respond to so well, because they are just small little things with funny hair.
I know. I had them growing up too. They were just always around, and now we've got the new trolls around that my kids have. But I think there is something just kind of iconic about that big swash of hair. You know, I think they're also quirky and they're unique. You know, I think they represent this kind of non-traditional beauty, which I think a lot of us could relate to. They're amazing. They're amazing.
Brilliant. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.